Ja, und damit sage ich wieder Hallo und ein herzliches Willkommen zur neuen Folge Nummer 18 von The Council. Und wir werden heute voraussichtlich nicht umhin können, sofern ich nicht noch irgendeinen spontanen, genialen Einfall habe, dass wir einen mehr als dürftigen Bericht abgeben, weil wir haben jetzt eigentlich alle Leute befragt, die uns zur Verfügung stehen zum Befragen. Und mir fällt im Moment nichts anderes mehr ein, als dass wir das, was wir jetzt da zusammengetragen haben, als mehr schlecht als recht Bericht erstmal abliefern. Vielleicht ergibt sich ja auch im Gespräch mit dem guten Mortimer noch irgendwas Neues, was uns weiterhilft. Aber wir sind auf jeden Fall jetzt einmal um das ganze Karree rumgelaufen und haben sogar den Wöllner nochmal befragt, obwohl wir da wie erwartet nichts Neues erfahren haben. Und da ist die verschlossene Tür. Und dann suchen wir uns einfach mal die entsprechende was sollte ich denn? Treppe? Genau. Wo es rauf ging zum Arbeitszimmer von dem guten Morty. Und dann schauen wir mal, ob der irgendwas Neues für uns hat. Den Godoy, wie gesagt, keine Ahnung. Da geht nichts, da kommt man nicht weiter. Keine Ahnung, ob und wann der ankommt. Vielleicht ist der in der Zwischenzeit auch schon verschwunden und wir wissen es bloß noch nicht. Hier geht's runter, aber nicht für uns. Und deswegen bleibt uns eigentlich erst einmal nur die Flucht nach vorne, beziehungsweise der Weg nach oben. Und wir schauen mal, wie wir unsere wenigen Informationen an den Mann bringen und ob wir dann vielleicht da noch was Neues erfahren. Hier ist einmal das Treppenhaus und da geht's nach oben. Wir werden uns wahrscheinlich noch ein bisschen umsehen, nach Möglichkeit nicht in die bodenlose Frechheit fallen. Wobei wir hier eigentlich die Runde schon zweimal abgelaufen sind, kann ich mir jetzt eigentlich beim besten Willen nicht vorstellen, dass wir da tatsächlich noch irgendwas übersehen hätten, es sei denn, es wäre irgendwas Neues dazugekommen, aber das glaube ich eigentlich auch nicht. In die Kiste, glaube ich, kommen wir nicht rein, da war irgendwie, oder waren wir schon drin? Genau, da blinkt erstmal nichts. Mit dem guten Kardinal haben wir auch schon gesprochen. Also würde ich jetzt mal vorschlagen. Da ist auch nichts mehr. Dass wir jetzt einfach hier mal Butter bei die Fische machen und das wenige, was wir haben, mal zum Besten geben.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Okay, also. Wir fassen jetzt hier mal das, was wir haben,
Will you
zusammen.
remind me of the facts we already know about?
Elizabeth Adams was killed last night,
Wissen wir?
but Piaggi was with Holm and I until late at night.
Wissen
As
wir
for
auch.
Bonaparte and Washington, they left us after midnight, both tired.
Das wussten wir und hat sich bestätigt. Gut.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the culprit with certitude.
Really? I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way. Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
Achso, er scheucht mich also erst aufs Haus und kümmert sich dann selber drum. Ja, kann man natürlich auch so machen. Aber...
She isn't missing, you know.
What? What do you mean?
My mother has left traces in every nook and cranny of your island, my lord. She's definitely here. Now, what worries me most is why she doesn't show herself.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the canon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me.
Machen wir das mal.
Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having support of a military man can often come in handy, Louis. You'll see. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play, and I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
Das werden wir jetzt mal so nicht auf die Nase binden.
If only my mother trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the Order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Ja, wenn ich das wüsste, dann wären wir schon weiter. Will die jetzt
Her
aber auch
not
nicht
coming
unbedingt
back
als
to the
verrückt
manor
hinstellen.
after so long makes me wonder if she is wary of someone.
Well, certainly. But whom? The only ones who were present during her stay were Sir Gregory, Duchess Hillsborough, Mr. von Wohler, and myself.
It seems you're close friends. What can you tell me about Sir Gregory?
Gregory? Oh, he's one of those cantankerous old men who hates losing at chess. He's a little eccentric and rather conservative. I'm sure you've met the type.
Well, actually, I don't judge people on how they look.
And you do well not to. What with his manner of continuing to wear makeup as he does, Gregory often gives off an unhealthy image. The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Ja, das habt ihr super gemacht. Genau 2 Themen, von denen ich keinen Peil habe.
My mother must have undoubtedly taken
Faszinierend ist
great
immer gut.
pleasure in these exchanges. She always was one to appreciate broadening her knowledge. I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Ja, das kommt uns nicht wirklich zugute, da kommen wir nicht wirklich weiter.
Unfortunately, my lord,
Da müssen wir wohl eingestehen, dass wir davon keine Ahnung haben.
It doesn't matter. You have plenty of time to learn. Your mother is a very
Ziehen wir
well-read woman.
uns soweit erst einmal
Quite lucky
zurück.
to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation, until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Okay, es wird immer mysteriöser und wirklich weiter kommen wir damit dann auch nicht. Das heißt, wir müssen auf jeden Fall diese Abstellkammer finden. Müssen wir mal gucken, wo die genau ist. Und ja, dann schauen wir mal. Ich muss es jetzt erst einmal sortieren. Und vielleicht habe ich dann doch noch eine glorreiche Idee. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Bis dahin sage ich wie immer Danke und ciao, ciao.